Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Let's have some fighting words. So in this video, I want to talk about Errol Spence. He seems pretty locked and loaded on what he wants his career to be, what he wants his immediate future to be, how he wants to continue with this year and finish it out strongly. He's made videos basically saying, I'm taking care of Ugas, and after that, I'm going straight for Terence Crawford. I like that mentality. I like that. I feel like this is the old Errol Spence. I feel like he's back to his dog days, and that's a scary place for everybody who's in his path and also in his division when he's in that mindset. And I just think it's great. I feel like if he definitely gets his wish, which I believe he will, I don't really know what would be left for him at welterweight. I mean, I guess somebody could say somebody like Yordenis or whatever, but they're really not at the same level at this point. So, and even by the time, let's just say he were to get his hands, let's just say he were to have fought and have beaten Yordenis Ugas, and then he had already gotten his hands on Terence Crawford. Yordenis still wouldn't be at the level to where it would make it like even sense. I feel like, Errol Spence will be looking backwards at that point just to handle that type of business or confront that type of business. I definitely think he would move up in weight. I think he'd probably go 54. He could easily make 60 if he wanted to. Errol Spence is a big dude. And when he's side by side, he's actually bigger than Jamel Charlo. So I think he could definitely go all the way up to 60. Because I remember there was possible rumors of maybe, a Spence versus Canelo type fight. And, why not? They could definitely meet up. Spence is not a small welterweight at all. Canelo could easily drop back down. That's not going to be an issue for him. He's not naturally a big guy. He just so happens to have a frame that can go up and down without that much of a problem. So, this is a good sign. This is a good move for boxing. This is definitely a good move for the welterweight division. What do I think? I don't like to see when guys, I like to see guys project and think about the future, but I don't like to see guys project through people. Yordenis Ugas is not somebody you're just going to walk through. Pacquiao didn't do it. That dude's a living legend. He didn't do it. And not to say that it cannot be done by Errol Spence. I definitely think if, Yordenis Ugas beat Manny Pacquiao, I believe that Errol Spence could have easily beat Manny Pacquiao. And I think he probably would have beat him even more convincingly or possibly put him away just because of the way he fights. But I just don't like to see people project through people because this is boxing and anything can happen at any given time. You think you know what's going to happen. You think you know who's going to win. And then, you get Ruiz versus AJ. So it's hard to predict these things. And I do know that Ugas is training hard. There are a lot of people, in particular fighters, who believe that Ugas is going to beat Errol Spence. A lot of them. So, I definitely don't want to say, well, he's definitely walking through Ugas. And a lot of people are overlooking Ugas. But last time Ugas got overlooked, he won. So you can't overlook him. You can't overlook what the man does. You can't overlook what the man has. The man has a strap, and he earned it. Trust me, he had a war with Manny Pacquiao. He earned it. So I don't necessarily want to say, what's going to happen or you're going to go just, I'm looking through you because this guy over here is my immediate future. Can't really do that. However, I do like the projection because it shows tunnel vision. That's what it shows. So I like that. I like the fact that you have a goal in mind. I like the fact that you want to get all these belts and become undisputed. I like that. But I think it's very dangerous, a very dangerous thing to do, to look over somebody and say, well, I'm getting through this guy and I'm getting through that. Now, many of us could just argue, all right, that's just that dog mentality. And that's true. That could be simply, we can chalk that up to a dog mentality. But at the same time, we need to be mindful of who we're going up against. That's also something that we need to do. We need to be mindful of who we're going up against. So I mean, listen, if this happens and, you know, he keeps his word, and he strikes me as the type of guy that if he says he wants to fight you, he wants to fight you. He's not like some wishy-washy, you know, some of these fighters, they'll say this or they'll say that, and then you don't, the fight doesn't come to anything. It doesn't manifest itself, you know, fruition or anything like that. But he strikes me as the type of guy, not only if he says it, that he's going to actively work towards it. Meaning whoever he's got to call, whoever he's got to sit down with and have lunch with and broker with, the fight's going to happen. And he's definitely the one holding all the chips. So if he, on his side, is saying that it's going to happen or this is what he wants, more than likely this is what he will get. So he, because, you know, as much as I hate using these terms, Errol Spence is the A side in this fight. Whether we like it or not, he's the A side. So if this is what he wants, I'm pretty sure that they can present Terence Crawford with a nice enough offer in which he would say yes to. And I don't think it would be hard. Terence Crawford, I feel like Terence Crawford wants this more than Spence. I feel like Terence Crawford has been asking for this longer than Spence. I feel like Terence Crawford has been asking basically just to beat out some PBC guys for quite some time. So I don't think Terence Crawford's all about the money. So I definitely think this will happen. And I think it's going to be a lot easier. Basically what I'm saying is I think it's going to be a lot easier because Spence is the one who's going to be pushing for it. Because as we all have seen, if Terence Crawford pushes for it, he doesn't get very far. But if we see Errol Spence push for it, and Terence Crawford is just on the receiving end saying, absolutely, I'll take it. You know, like, I'll take it. 60-40, I'll take it. 70-30, I'll take it. I'm not saying, and I hate to talk numbers or anything like that, but I'm just saying if you present him with something, he doesn't strike me as the type of guy who's going to turn it down because he's thinking about his overall career, not his next check, in which case he doesn't need that much. The man, he has money. At this point in his career, it's about legacy. It's about, will my name be in the Hall of Fame? These are the things that he's concerned with. He's not concerned with his next check. He gets checks from other places. Terence Crawford has a few businesses. So he's going to be all right in terms of money and revenue. What he's not going to be all right with is sitting around, waiting around for, you know, can he actually get his hands on some of these PBC fighters? That's what he's not going to be okay with. That's what's going to eat him up inside and what's going to keep him up at night. That's the thing that has him contemplating, I'm just going to go up to 154 pounds, see if I can get my hands on Jamal Charlo. So, you know, that's what it is. But like I said, overall, I like this mentality of Spence. And I like to see an Errol Spence who stays in the gym, who's not getting big in between fights as well. I like that too. I definitely like that too. And that says that's a true sign of determination for him. And I think, listen, moving to the ranch and buying horses and cows and pigs, hey, it's working for him, you know, because it's giving him a second sense of work ethic if he has a farm. You know, and also it gets him away from the city, gets him away from a lot of his so-called friends. So overall, I'm happy for that. And I'm definitely happy that he wants this fight. And I'm definitely happy that he'll be the one calling for it. Because like I said, he's the A side. If he calls for it, things are going to happen. Strings will get pulled. The right people will get called. And checks will be cashed out, signed, and delivered. So those are my thoughts. I hope this comes all the way through, you know, and this is not just empty talk, but those are my thoughts. I want to know what you have to say. You know what I got to say right now. Drop your comments down below. Please like, please share, please subscribe to my channel.